Afrofuturism is how Black people locate themselves in space and time with agency.
We blended our own culture, our own history with learning about mathematics, and we started to see our kids just jump tremendously.
It's so powerful, and it's so encouraging to see him in a space where he's, challenged academically while, being affirmed culturally.
Thank you all so much for being here with us. As you can see, we're kind of informal, and that's the way we like to keep it. We're a family here, a community at the Afrofuturist Discovery Academy. My name is Bryant, one of our educators, and y'all introduce yourselves. Panelists, please.
I'm Baba Aaron. I'm just happy to be here. I'm an educator. I'm your math instructor and just motivator. So peace and blessings.
Hi, everybody. My name is Tyler Alsay. I am a parent of a scholar who attends both Sharinda and Baba Aaron's programs this summer.
Hey, everybody. My name is Nita. I am a co-teacher, and I have a student that participates in the program, Reading Lab.
Thank y'all for being here. We're going to get right into it because we only have an hour to share so much with you. Tonight, you'll get to know a little bit more about us, the edge, and why we're doing the work that we do. Hopefully, you'll walk away with our definition for Afrofuturism, because that's important in all of this, of course. You will also learn about all that the Academy has to offer your students. And we'll give you your next steps for those looking for how to enroll in either our July, or you want support in August or beyond. There's options here. So we want to first give a shout out to Claudia from the HBCU Prep Academy. Let me pause because I just need y'all to understand how awesome what she did for us. I've been building Afrofuturism Discovery Academy for about 3 years now. When I tell you Miss Clark got on the Instagram and made a post in 30 seconds, okay, that's how much that post, about that time. And y'all responded and y'all started flooding that registration link. I'm not going to tell you how many people is in there currently, but I'm going to tell you it gave us a positive problem to solve. And so it has been such a blessing to us to be able to just open the doors and access-wise that y'all now know about us. We can grow our community. We can serve because that's what we started this for, and figure out how we're going to increase the math and literacy skills of all your students. Please do bear with us as we navigate that as well. I'm looking at the chat. Yes, thank you, anonymous attendees. Because of Miss Claudia, I found out about your program. So grateful. Thank you. And we're so grateful for you for being here. So let's jump right into it. So a little bit about me, educator. I used to teach English in the classroom for 9th and 11th grade. I fell in love with Afrofuturism as a genre during that time. I am now developing curriculum. I call myself a rhizomatic learning experience designer, which is a fancy name for I like to look at the details of things and figure out how different learners can access information. Creative writer. My research interest is cultural restoration through learning and building strong ethnic and racial identities. I do believe that that is one of our hindrances to our students, to our core subjects, is because they have some sort of disbelief that they cannot do it. And so we are here to solve that misconception that they actually come from a legacy of writers and inventors and mathematicians and all of the things. We'd like to give that to them and then empower them with the tools so that they can combine their historical facts, their legacy, with the tools, and they can create awesome opportunities for themselves moving forward. So that's a little bit about me. I do wear a lot of hats, but that's enough for today. Let's move on to Baba Aaron.
Little old me. Okay, so I'm gonna jump on here. I just want to say part of my story was I was inspired to teach mathematics by I loved using the word inspired, not demoralized, but by hearing how much of our students weren't making it through the educational system because of mathematics. And a long story, I don't want to do a long story, but a long story short, the officials from the college came to my church and told us that we weren't doing enough for our children because they were getting to college, but they weren't getting through. And I decided to do something about that. So about 7 years ago, we started our own Summer Algebra Institute, and we blended our own culture, our own history with learning about mathematics. And we started to see our kids just jump tremendously. So that's why part of my story, why I'm here. And then as soon as I met Sharinda here and blending in our Afrofuturistic culture, it's the application of mathematics that really makes learning about math important and relevant to us. And that's when we started excelling. So yeah, that's what my story is here. So I'm here to bring our children just that niche of what we need in mathematics, is because we get so distant from how the school teaches our kids and, how the curriculum books usually teaches our kids. So yeah, I think I'm kind of going on, but I'm just so excited to, see all of you here and present. And I'm excited to, educate our people. So yeah, there you go.
Awesome. Move into our co-teacher, Nita.
I love to research all things. I tutor students from elementary school all the way to early college. And I am an avid reader. I read about 2 to 3 books a month. And I'm currently reading Erasing History by Jason Stanley, where they are talking about how important education is, not just for our own sake, but for pushing forward a fascist agenda. It's a really interesting book. And I have 2 neurodivergent children, both autistic and with other cognitive differences. So I'm extremely interested in ways to make education more easily accessible to people with different needs, who need different sensory inputs, who cannot thrive in a traditional education setting. So I am really excited to work with Sharinda and Baba Aaron and with all of your children on this adventure. Thank you.
Thank you so much. You really do bring so much to the Academy, your experience and your interests. First, I want to give you a definition for Afrofuturism. I thought it was self-explanatory, but as a genre, it is something that is both an aesthetic, our biggest, y'all could put in the chat, there's 2 movies that have given us a vision of Afrofuturism in the last few years. Let's see if y'all know what I'm talking about. True History, Reclaiming Our Roots, the science and the tech, innovation, Black culture and liberation, the arts, future design, and world building is all a part of this. It's also an application that people use, a methodology, if you will, in different skill sets and industries. So yes, I see the Black Panthers coming in, but what's the second one? Not a Black Panther movie. There's another one that gave us a vision of what Afrofuturism really means. It's actually a scene in a movie. Let's see if y'all got that one. While you do that, I'm going to play this video. Hopefully it works to give us, this is our kid version of Afrofuturism.
Thank you for watching Deeper Than Red. Make sure to hit the subscribe button and the notification bell when new episodes are released. Every last Wednesday of each month, a new episode will come out. The early 20th century was a turbulent time for Black Americans. Jim Crow laws, segregation, and lynching plagued Black life in America. Out of the bleakness rose a creative that transcended these troubles: Afrofuturism. Afrofuturism is a genre that incorporates Black history, culture, and technology through literature, music, and art. Some define it as a social movement where people of African descent play a central role in the creation of the world. Sun Ra, a jazz musician in the 1950s, brought the Afrofuturism movement into public consciousness. He used electrical instruments in his compositions many years before this became mainstream. Sun Ra paved the way for the cosmic and spacey sounds of jazz and funk. His albums often dealt with space. These include Space is the Place, Cosmic Tones for Mental Therapy, and We Travel the Spaceways. One of the movement's most well-known figures is Octavia Butler, an Afrofuturist writer. Octavia explored real-world themes of oppression, violence, and sexuality through imagining alternate versions of Earth. Octavia shared in an interview, "When I began writing science fiction, when I began reading, heck, I wasn't in any of this stuff I read. I wrote myself in, since I'm me, and I'm here, and I'm writing." She is known for the novels Kindred and Parable of the Sower. Kindred was adapted into an television series in 2022. Comic books have also played a central role in the development of the Afrofuturism movement. The fantastic tales and supernatural characters overcoming all odds that are found in comics also appeal to the Afrofuturist spirit of hope through adversity. While many consider Black Panther an Afrofuturist comic series, the series was created by Jack Kirby, who was a Marvel comic writer, not a Black creative. A more accurate example is Black Kirby, the name of the comic artist duo Stacey Robinson and John Jennings. Black Kirby remixes the classic comic book style into their own characters and Afrofuturistic tales. Visual art is also an important element of Afrofuturism. The Kenyan visual artist Wangechi Mtu merges fantasy and surrealism to explore the experience of Black bodies. You can also see the Afrofuturism aesthetic within album artwork of some of the more contemporary hip-hop or jazz artists of today. Afrofuturism examines the past, questions the present, and imagines an optimistic future. It offers an escape from real-world problems. It explores the Black experience from fantastical and visceral perspectives. In the words of Sun Ra, "The possible has been tried and failed. Now it's time to try the impossible." Thanks for watching Deeper Than Red. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and follow us on social media.
Okay, so that gives you a little bit about the origins and some of the influencers of Afrofuturism. I like this definition that one of my mentors gave me, Dr. Ramsey. Shout out to him at Temple University and the president of Black Speculative Arts Movement. He said that Afrofuturism is how Black people locate themselves in space and time with agency. He told me, don't forget the agency. So not that we're up in the clouds all the time and talking about, what we dream about. We do that too, but also making an application of the dream. How do we get there? Those are questions that we endeavor to answer. Baba Aaron, you want to say something?
Oh, no, I was just waiting for that guess. I don't know that second movie.
Oh, okay. So in Sinners was the answer. There's a specific scene in Sinners where I forgot his name at the moment. The young man, he started playing banjo, and it seems to conjure up all these different musicians from the past. And that scene that gave me chills, and all of these past, present, and future artists together. And that's at the genesis of Afrofuturistic thought, is thinking about how all of those things are connected. How are we connected to the past? How does it inform our present? And what about that do we want to change to move forward in the future? Simply the elders used to say, you don't know where you're going if you don't know where you've been. So that's all of that. I will also mention that you might have heard in our videos some topics that might give some parents a pause, like, oh, y'all going to be talking about that. So let me reassure you that there are certain topics in the Afrofuturism genre that we do not touch. We do not bring in the sexuality. We do not bring in the gender. We do not bring in the transhumanisms of it all. We do talk about AI, but we don't talk about things that are outside of the scope of what we believe parents should have conversations about with their children. So I just wanted to say that to reassure you that we are being conscious, and we do believe that parents are the first teachers. So if you move forward with us, and if ever there's something that comes up in the class that you want to talk to us about, we are definitely open to adjusting. And just to give you an overview of what all is available, what we've built thus far in the Academy. So right now we have students in California, New York, Missouri. We have some asynchronous work in the Google Classroom. We have extended learning and resources and family projects even. But these are our courses that we have so far. Intro to Afrofuturism will give you the basics, give you the major influencers and the ways of thought in Afrofuturism. This is Why I'm Fly is a fun class that traces the concept of flight from hieroglyphs to hip hop. So that's one of my favorites. It's a lot of fun to show how being fly has shifted through time. Wellness and World Building is our course where our students are learning how to create stories. I give them the challenge of that their main character has to express how they are well at the end. So it's quite the challenge, but the students have been great, and we've gotten some beautiful stories. And it is also one of I have a lot of favorites. So I love student work and creativity. So we really get to the heart of what's important to our kiddos through that series. We have the ADA Spec Crew, which Miss Nita runs. So we have students, we'll show you some of the books that they've been reading in the ADA Spec Crew. Spec stands for Speculative Perspectives from an Empowered Culture. So we call it the Spec Crew. There's a reading quiz to discover your reading superpower. We've made reading cards that are culturally grounded and beautiful, and you'll get to see a couple in a little bit. Our Young Futurist Solarium, as for our older students, I mean for that to be a space where our high school or young college students can do some deeper work around understanding Afrofuturism. There's some books that we attach to that you'll see as well. A question in the chat, where are y'all located? Okay, so I think we're all, the panelists, we're all in California. I'm in the Bay Area. Aaron, you in the South Bay.
Yeah, South Bay, Silicon Valley.
And then we have our new course here, Sankofa Math and STEAM Lab, that Baba Aaron is leading. So he'll talk about that in just a moment. Okay, let's move to a commercial. Check out this. This is Intro to Afrofuturism with the Afrofuturism Discovery Academy. I am Miss Bryant, your guide through this journey, giving you a little glimpse of some of the things that we do in class. Question in the chat, can we take more than one class, and is there a cost? You can take all of the classes, and you can even ask us to create other classes. And is there a cost? Now, that question depends, of course, to be honest, on funding. We aim to keep our courses free to low cost. Whether or not it's free or low cost is up to the people with the monies. So we are currently in a free cycle in June and July. And we shall see what happens as we move forward in August and the rest of the school year. So we are actively working to make it as reasonable as we can because, ultimately we believe that education should be free. But then also these beautiful educators that are here, we do have to support them so financially so that they can do this creative work. We got to take care of the people. So let's move forward. All right, to our testimonials and our parent and student testimonials. Let's hear from some of our parents and students who might be on the line about how much they've enjoyed or how they have experienced the math and the ADA spec crew. So I'm going to first pass it to Tyler.
Good evening, everybody. First off, again, flowers to you, Sharenda and Baba Aaron, for just everything. I'm not going to get emotional. But hello, everybody. My name is Tyler Alce. I am a parent of a ADA scholar and a math program scholar. Just started this summer with Baba Aaron's program. But my son has been part of Sharenda's program for the past 2 years, I believe. And my son, he's always enjoyed reading. He's an avid reader. And I feel like ADA has only expanded his love for reading and his love for learning as well. And through this program, he not only has been exposed to Black literature, Black history, and curriculum that is culturally relevant, and he's able to really just soak it in a way that gives him so much confidence, not only in the classroom, but in life as well. And that in itself just has so much, it's just the representation just has been just incredibly powerful, especially for my son who goes to a school that doesn't have a lot of kids that look like him. There's probably only 2 or 3 kids that are Black in his classroom. And for him to learn our history and really just be so proud of who he is as a young Black boy, that is the kind of confidence that these programs are, exposing him to. And, like I said, ADA program doesn't just focus on academics, it does help build your scholar's identity and sense of belonging as well. Because sometimes, again, in those spaces, it could be a bit isolating. But this past year, my son has really just blossomed into somebody that I wish I was able to, I was able to be when I was younger. So I'm glad that my son is exposed to this type of program because it's so powerful and it's so encouraging to see him in a space where he's, challenged academically while, being affirmed culturally. And the book club and the STEM programs have really provided him with just opportunities to grow and dream, explore new ideas, and see himself reflected in all of that. So again, so grateful for the impact you both have made on Blake within the last few weeks and then the last 2 years. And I'm just so excited to see where this goes as he continues in these programs. And as far as the cost of these programs, I feel these are priceless. These are investments. And I want my son and I want for all Black kids to be able to, receive this sort of education that they don't often receive in the classroom. So thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much for those beautiful words. We are talking a lot about your son, Blake. We love Blake. Such a beautiful example. I'm going to show everybody Blake. Is he nearby?
Let me call him down. One moment.
Okay.
And someone said, go ahead and cry. It's okay to get emotional. It's a big deal. That's what someone said. Yeah.
But it is also to make me cry because this really is hard work, y'all. This is a dream being fulfilled in real time. And so it means a lot to all of us. This is core curriculum to development. I actually do study Black child development. And these courses we all build are embedded with the thought that we need to provide cultural empowerment for our students so that they can access and know that they are welcome in math and English. These are skill that they're supposed to possess and have. We did kind of talk through our different courses. A little bit more about This Is Why I'm Fly. It does have also a workbook, coloring book that is available through that class. These are just some bits from some of the things we talk about. Virginia Hamilton's The People Could Fly. We dissect that story. We look at the mothership and what that meant to the people. We look at even this song, I'll Fly Away. I also sing, so sometimes I might drop those tunes in the class. We talked about wellness and world building class. Okay. This is a testimonial from one of our students in that class. I've enjoyed coming to classes because it allowed me to use my imagination to build a world of my own. I enjoyed learning about how to build a character's personality. That came from Jazz. All right, let's move forward. Okay, the ADA Spec Crew, which Nita teaches. These are our books that we use currently. So we like to choose books that are written by Black authors about Black kids doing awesome things and that have a series so our kiddos can stick with us for a bit. So we got Big Monty series. Big Monty is, he likes science. So there's cute little science experiments that he gives in that book series. Future Hero is awesome. This young man, Jarrell, he discovers a magic mirror in the barbershop. And then he's transported to another world where he learns that all the things that he used to doodle in math class, he used to doodle a lot, were actually ancestral messages. And I love that. We got the Steam Chasers book series, which our kiddos are currently in. That's what Blake was referencing, learning more about people who invented and technologies and stuff. So he's learning about that in our book series, Steam Chasers. And then for our middle school students, we have the Odd Scholars, Dr. Marvelous Jen's Odd Scholars. This book is an adventure, and it is full of history that some stuff I didn't even know. So I have enjoyed that, learning with the students. There's African mythology in there and mythical beasts and Marcus Garvey and all these wonderful things. So that's for our middle school students. Here's a look at how we deal with reading in the academy. So on the left, you'll see an example of 3 of our reading cards. The students take a reading quiz and they get their top 3 reading superpowers, and they're given a card for them to use, and it asks them to read the book through a certain lens. So these are just 3: the time traveler, the truth teller, and the pattern spotter. So it explains what they should be looking for through that reading lens. It gives them questions they can ask in class and it has an affirmation on the back of that card. Right now, that's a PDF. You get all 7 sets. I think it's 7 or 8. We believe true learning operates like a rhizome. I mentioned that word before, but a rhizome is a root system that looks like this. Ginger grows in a rhizome, and all the roots are interconnected. So that's where we get rhizome from. I mentioned the Young Futurist Solarium already for our older students. We want to get into Parable of the Sower, Parable of the Talents, this anthology, Dark Matter, and movies like American Fiction. We want to give our older scholars something to really dig into. So that too is available. Let's see. And we're going to kick it to Baba Aaron for more about the Math and STEAM Lab.
All right. So yeah, my favorite subject here, and it was by almost force, it became my favorite subject because I was teaching 3rd and 6th grade, and it just became my passion, and just to see that aha light that happens in our kids whenever I get to see and teach math. So yeah, just like Blake just showed, he's like, yeah, I am a mathematician. I know algebra. He came like saying he didn't know, but now he's starting to believe. And really, that's where that's where my heart is at. But just to go in kind of the nuts and bolts, people are asking about, all right, do you have assessments? And yes, we want to track growth. I want to see our kids, how they come in and how they leave. I want to see the growth. So, and actually, as I speak, after I'm done speaking, I'm going to add a assessment link that anybody can take. And if you do take it, we will give you feedback on how your student is. And it's a free assessment that I worked hard to develop with some friends. But yes, it's out there for you. And we will give you this link. And what I would like to say with this link is that this is how I know which families were, ready to invest, because it is an investment. Putting in time into your own education is an investment. Like we said, we had an overwhelming interest and cry out, but we don't want to spread ourselves too thin. So some people were asking about the assessment, and that is one way we're going to see where we're at and who's really invested. So when we share this link, please to have your child take this assessment. It'll let me know where to start, whether we can really suit and help you, but I can help all y'all. So anyways, let me go into the slide at hand. What makes our course different is, one, we built it on our culture. We built it on knowing who we are and knowing that we have been a part of mathematics since mathematics has been mathematics. All right. So a lot of us, and this is probably one of the hardest statements I hear from our kids is, math is just not for me. And, when I hear that, especially when it's us, you're like, don't you know your ancestors used math to build the buildings that they think aliens built? We've been using math since math and mathin'. All right. So I let them know these things, and that's really where the heart of this. And I love even how this program is extended in the last few months and weeks. Is meeting Sharinda is we went into the application. I was told by an elder is that if we're just teaching the skills that the school system is telling us is important, all we're doing is building better slaves for our kids. I know that's a hard statement. That it hit me hard too. And what the difference maker was how do we apply it to better our own communities, better our own families, or better our own personal lives? That's what makes it a lot different. And with this futuristic culture and atmosphere that we have built in, it's just set up perfectly to connect with our children in so many ways, with the application and with our cultural history. I feel like you can't find that anywhere else right now. Maybe you can, but I haven't seen it. But to go back into the course a little bit, not only are we working on this futuristic project base, but I also, as a school teacher, I'm a credentialed teacher in the California state school system. And we're very standards based, but I pull away from that. That's why someone else asked a question earlier. That's why I was a little bit torn about how to ask. It's like, is this core curriculum or is this supplemental? Well, it's core. I love, Sharinda, how you said it. It's core for us because we need this. Why some may look at it as supplemental is because they have a whole curriculum book based off of skills. All right. The skills that they need to know just to get to the next level, not really building them into anything. But with that being said, I still want to know if they will be successful wherever they go. So that's what the assessment is really about. So I am testing different skills that they do know with the assessment, but that's not the heart of, our learning in our program, if I should say it like that. So hopefully I answered that question too. I just wanted to say it in my own way, what Sharinda already said perfectly. It's like, it's core for us. So and then what else did I have on this slide? I think that was a problem solving. Then there was a one slide. There we go. There was one. And just go. You can go to the next one. Just so you know how our math segment really is laid out. And for me, I've been running this for about 7 years. We had to make it through the pandemic. We've did it in person. We've done it virtually. We've done it with a hybrid session. And what we found is a great setup of focusing on, one, connecting with our children. So if you see kind of like how our makeup goes, we spend our first 10 10 minutes. Just, I want to hear from you. Sometimes it go longer than that because some kids got things to say, so we connect with our kids. And then we go into, and somebody was asking about the core curriculum. Then we go into working skills. But at the same time, we're learning skills. We're learning about how our ancestors use these skills to develop innovations, inventions, and actually even mathematical philosophy. So yeah, we go into that. Then we bring them together to work on a application of future scope. So we have a call. I think we're calling it the Future Lab or Discovery Lab. There we go. And we're building towards something that they can apply mathematics in the future. It makes it real. It makes what you're learning real. So I love that. And we get to do it together. And then, of course, this is how we engage. I think someone asked in the chat, like, what do we do with someone maybe with learning difficulties or things like that? And to me, the solution has always been, let's make a game out of it. It's been a win-win ever since. So, we do a strong game component where it's mathematics, but the kids get to compete. They having fun. I'm having fun. I'm making fun, but not in a negative way. We ain't tear our children down, but, we have some jokes in there. All right. So, we play games and then we come together and win prizes. So we got blessed this year to be funded, through outside partners and funding. And we were able to give out gift cards and things like that. And even kids that needed some devices because they didn't have it, we were able to support that. So I'm hoping that this continues. I'm hoping that you guys share even with your friends. If you got friends that got some, has some financial, abilities, help us a little bit in our future endeavors. Please share the word so we can, keep these prizes and incentives coming. I truly believe that's a big part of the program. So I think I said it all. I'm not sure if I missed anything, but I want to reiterate. And as soon as I'm done talking, I'm going to drop in an assessment. And what I'm asking our parents is, you don't have to force your child, but, get them to finish this assessment. We're going to be assessing the assessment tomorrow afternoon to see who is finished and who we can support the best. And we're going to have those children be able to join us in our future classes for the end of this month and for next month. So, I think that's all my piece.
Great. Yes, we got lots of questions coming in.
Let me see. What were some of the questions?
Yes, the Afrofuturism Discovery Academy is virtual. All of our courses are virtual so that we can maximize our outreach. We understand that the time zones do present a puzzle. Right now, the math class is 4:30 to 6:30 Pacific time, which is 6:30 to 7:30 Central Time.
Oh, and speaking of that, if there's a time that works best for you, put that in the chat for July. That would be really helpful in how we formulate programming in the future. So you're like, hey, this will work out really well for my child. Right now, we have it on Tuesdays and Thursdays. But if there's a time on those days that really work really well for you, throw that in the chat. That could help us, cater it towards you guys.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, this is just where we are currently. But both myself and Erin are independent educators. So that means we're a little more flexible. So we also understand that the homeschool students may have more time to access things during the day. And we have to have maybe another session for our after school kiddos. So just be reassured that we're thinking about all the things. And this is just where we are currently for our June session, the 4:30 to 6:30. It also run in July. Okay, so age group for the math class, Erin.
So right now it's catered for, and I've taken as low as third grade before, but just to be honest, it's more middle school. So we have fifth to about ninth grade in our classes. It really depends on your child because I have a second grader at the house that knows her multiplication table. So, if your kid knows a basic sense of number sense, meaning multiplication, knows how to add and subtract, we can work with that. But generally, to answer that question, it's fifth to about ninth grade. Yeah, I built a program for someone to be algebra ready by the end, but I built it also where there's a couple routes where, if you still needed to take this course twice, run through this twice, it still would be advantageous for you, So yeah, hopefully that answers the question.
Yes, we have lots of folks on the East Coast wondering about that time difference. So the July class is what we're really enrolling for. At 10 to 12 Pacific time, I believe would be 1 to 3 p.m. Eastern time. Is that right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. 4:30 class Pacific time would be 7:30 to 8. That's a
little bit late. That's a little bit late.
Yeah.
That's 7:30 to 9:30, I think.
Yeah. So that's a before bedtime class. Mm-hmm. So yes, well, we'll get that together. We gave it just to see if we give some folks some extra time to work through it this evening. But it doesn't have to be done to be welcomed into the class. We'll also give them some class time to work on that.
But I will say for the math course, because we already have some students in the class, and we're only going to add about 12 more students to the program. So I'm giving priority to the ones that put in the effort to get the assessment done to the best of their abilities. Yeah. So in terms of the math assessment, it's not a requirement either, but definitely the ones that put in the work with the assessment, they're going to be the ones get accepted in. And you'll know tomorrow afternoon. So about noonish tomorrow.
All righty. So he needs to complete the math assessment.
Mm-hmm.
He's good with the reading. It's the math, and for me, I think it's mostly mental math. A worksheet or pen and paper, he's fine. But it's just the calling out, and I need you to answer it. It's a struggle.
Okay, we gonna work on that. That's what we practice on. It starts with that confidence in mathematics too. So yeah, we seen this before.
Let's go to, is it Bethlehem, Washington?
First of all, I want to ditto everyone. I really do appreciate this program that you guys have going on. I think this is really good for our kids. I noticed that a lot of the parents of the children are younger. My daughter is a ninth grader going into 10th.
Okay.
And I don't know if you have anything for her. She struggles in math. She does pretty good. For the last, here in Texas, they have like a STAR test that they have to take. And for the past 3 years, she would have to go to summer school because she was messed up in her test. This year, she didn't have to go to summer school. We were very happy for her. But she still kind of struggles at math and would like a little help in reading, even though she likes reading. But I would like her to do both. And I don't know if she can because of the age, but is there anything?
Yes. So, I'll let Sharinda speak on the literacy part, the reading. But in terms of the math, this built for her. So the program was built for ninth graders and eighth graders that were falling behind and needed to make sure that they were algebra ready before they went into high school. But if she's already ahead of algebra, going into algebra 2 calculus, I can work individually with her, but maybe the program may not fit at that higher level of mathematics, because it's basically making sure that we're all algebra ready. So
okay. I was listening. I was like, I don't know if this is going to be good for her, even though it might be good for her anyway. But as far as going into helping her go into moving up in her grade level, as I said, she will be a 10th grader in the fall. Mm-hmm. So I didn't know if this was something that, as far as the math goes, is something that was for her.
Yeah.
Now, as far as reading, if it's not, I can pass this on to my daughter. She has a third grade. Is Aria going into third grade, fourth grade, and she struggles with math. I might send you guys her way, but if you can't help my baby, it's fine. But I think this is an awesome program, and I wish I had known about it earlier. And the young lady before is right. I heard about you guys on TikTok.
Wow. Yeah, amazing. Thank you. Well, and also, as I'm a former ninth grade teacher, so I know standards vary a little bit from state to state, but, if you need support in English 1 or whatever you call it there, I got you.
Okay.
Yeah,
all right. So I
stay in touch with us.
Thank you. I will.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yay.
Right. Let's move on to Kaina. Oh, we cousins, Kaina? Hold on. Allowed to talk. Okay, go ahead.
Good afternoon, everyone. Well, depending on where you are, good evening.
Yeah.
I have my daughter doing the assessment, not the assessment, the learning snapshot for the reading. And she has done it on 3 different browsers, Internet Explorer, Google Chrome, and the other one. And
you really just named 3 when you said 4.
Oh,
right now you almost when you said that you did them.
They correct us on everything, right?
Everything.
No, it's a grammar mistake.
Please, please, please don't hesitate to reach out any further questions. And yeah, I hope to see your scholars in our program, if not tomorrow, soon.
Yes, thank y'all so much. We appreciate it. We had a good time and we hope to build with you in the future, near future. Take care and good night, everyone.